Hi guys, I'm here with Ken again. I'm doing a follow-up from the last time we spoke, and that was a couple of weeks ago. I have the most amazing news. Ken is now walking, and we are doing a follow-up on that journey and where he's at in that point of his life. So, Ken, yeah, I mean, you can just reintroduce yourself to everyone, just so you know, for the new viewers that are joining in, they know who you are. Can you share a bit about your journey being in a wheelchair for 11 years and now being able to walk again? What motivated you during this time?
Um, Hi, yeah. So my name is Ken. I'm originally from the Netherlands. Um, I Some call it an accident, some call it a blessing. I suffered an accident a couple of years, 11 years ago, and came in a wheelchair. And like I said, it was like one of the biggest blessings in my life because for me it made me change so much as a person. Like became a totally different person. And once once you start to make changes like you start thinking different and then you start feeling different, you literally start to become a different person, and different things happen. So um I had a lot of in the beginning of my after my trauma. I did a lot of physical therapy, and I was able in the beginning to do a little bit standing up and doing some steps. But I think when you do the things for the wrong reason, I'm not going to say the wrong reason, but like if you want to get back to that old person, it doesn't work like that. You have to become like a new person, right? So let me explain a little bit. So when I used to do this, like in the beginning, it was like from a place of anger. Like, okay, I had to come back to that place. I had to become that person again, but from a place of anger. So I never could see like any gains I was making, or any if I was becoming better. I couldn't see it
Mm,
because I was angry all the time. Once you learn how to let go of that, and you start to become like from a place of gratefulness
mm,
and love, everything becomes a lot different because every little thing that pops up, you're like, oh, you're grateful for it, you
mm,
know?
mm. And it's hard
And
to be
for
that way, actually. It takes a lot of practice. So
yeah,
I look up to you for doing that.
thank you. And so for me now, every day I bless my body. Thing I used to, I wouldn't do before. Why would I do that? You know? And like if somebody said like, yeah, bless you or whatever, and it was like, no. So in my 3D mind,
Mm,
but actually blessing yourself and blessing other people, it's a very great thing. So and once you bless your body with love, your body responds because um, the material comes from energy, and we are energy. So once you become like an energy of love, and you give love to yourself, matters respond, and it's really true.
wow.
So after a long journey of having a lot of physical issues on my body, like pressure wounds and wounds from sitting all day, um, doing breath work, doing meditation, doing physical therapy, taking care of myself, eating healthy. Because I'm not going to say, okay, yeah, I just meditated like 30 minutes and I'm better. No, it's
Mm,
like, it's like a little bit bigger package than that. But it really starts to show its effect. So like a couple months ago, we would stand up and would just still stand up. And then that's it. And then until my legs start be able like to carry my body a little bit, okay, let's do one step. Okay, one step. Okay, my legs would go, give out. Then, little by little, do 2 steps, 5 steps, 10 steps, until I came to the point like now in the therapy, I'm doing like 200 to 300 steps.
that is amazing. That is so
So,
amazing. And coming from
so
from a hospital or from doctors that told you, sorry, get
never,
used to being in a wheelchair.
yeah,
Sorry,
yeah,
we're limiting you and your mindset. You are now walking 200 to 300 steps a day, Ken. That is
yeah, exactly.
amazing. That's amazing.
And And it's exactly what you say. We limit ourselves, because sometimes we give so much trust. We give so much trust to a doctor, and we give them so much power. And actually, Dr. Joe, in one of his books, he told like one guy, the doctors told him he had cancer and he had like a couple months to live. So he said, okay, I just want to live until December. I want to spend like one Christmas with my family, and then I can pass away. And he passed away in January, and they did an autopsy on his body, and he didn't have cancer.
What?
It was a mistake from
Oh,
the doctor.
yes. I actually
Yeah,
recall reading this, and I've seen people make that decision where they're like, I don't want to anymore. I've had
yeah,
enough. People with heart attacks, and it's sad because you make that decision and you can literally give your body life or death.
exactly. So you can either, you can bring your body to ruin, or you can love your body into life. And that's what I've been doing the last time, loving my body into life, and my body is responding. And I'm just, everything, every day when other things happen, I'm starting to become more grateful and more, because you see more results. So you become more grateful, more love, and it
Mm.
becomes bigger and bigger, and it's what you say. Don't limit yourself. On the contrary.
It's so very true because you know what? Like I look at one of my favorite artists growing up was Eminem, and everyone in his life told him he would never make it. And it
Hmm.
just, how many times people have looked at me and my ideas or where I want to go, what I'm giving, and they're like they're wowed by it, but at the same time they're like, maybe she's a little bit crazy to have such a big dream, or they kind of like put you down because they don't think it's possible for them, therefore they don't think it's possible for you. But one thing I've learned is dream big, dream as big as you can, don't limit
Yes.
yourself because that's what everyone else does. They limit themselves.
Yeah, and we teach by example, right? So we're not teaching by preaching. No, we're teaching by example. So we show them like, okay, we are doing this. And when other people see the result, like, hey, what are you doing? I'm like, well, you
Yes.
know.
We inspire by doing. It's so true. And what do you think? What role did Joe Dispenza's teachings actually play for you in the healing process? I know that you mentioned gratitude, you mentioned the meditations you did, and the breath work. But what was it about? You know, because you mentioned in our previous interview that there was nothing, you're a fighter. There was nothing that was going to stop you from being where you are right now and
Hmm.
sharing this beautiful story with me. But what was it about Joe's teachings that really like kind of helped this recovery and healing process?
Well, first of all, so he healed himself too from a spinal cord injury. So
Yes.
that's the first thing, right? So when you see somebody that healed himself, then you start asking the question, okay, what did this person do to heal himself?
Mm, mm,
Of course, you look at from like a superficial level. So it's like, oh, okay, he must have blah blah. And then when you really get into the work, and believe me, I'm a pretty stubborn person. And when I go into it, and sometimes it takes me a while to understand, but once you understand, right? Because in the beginning, I would do Dr. Joe's work like, okay, so if he healed himself with meditation, I can heal myself too from meditation. And then okay, of course, the intention is healing myself, but what's behind it, right? And there's coming like, okay, becoming a different person, because meditation, like it means to become aware. So you become aware of yourself, and then you become aware of, okay, what are my habits? How do I think? How do I feel? How do I talk? How do I wake up in the morning? How do I go to sleep in the night? Because we are in such a program that we don't even realize, like, for example, okay, we go to sleep angry, we wake up angry, or we wake up bitter, or we wake up, in a certain state.
It's almost like autopilot. Most of us are on
And then it's like,
autopilot.
yes, exactly, autopilot. So, and then you have to be so, again, I can lie to the whole world, but you cannot lie to yourself,
Mm,
right? So once you start to do the work and you go really inside and you go really deep and you start by meditation, so your mind becomes a little bit still. So you start to observe yourself, your behaviors and everything. Like, okay, I don't like this part of myself, or I need to change this. Or maybe I'm just so used, because that's what me the last 1, 2, 3 years, like maybe I'm just used to being in a wheelchair.
Mm.
Not that I have to be in a wheelchair, but I'm just used to it. So I don't see the way out
Yes.
because I'm an autopilot, right?
Mm.
And then you say, no, but I want to stand up. So you got to teach your body like, no, your brain teach your body like, no, we got to stand up. I gotta send strength to my legs.
Mm.
I gotta recover my spine. How can I do it? Just being coherent, sending them love. So it's in the beginning, the process can be like very long, but now if I look back, it's like, wow, what a process. It's beautiful.
And how far you've come as well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And can you describe like a specific meditation or moment or technique that you experienced through Dr. Joe Dispenza's teachings that was impactful, or that, when people describe their healings with Joe Dispenza's retreats, they always say
Hmm.
they feel this energy, or, you know, when I was at the retreat and I was a part of the coherence healing, I could feel this overwhelming. It wasn't energy for me. It was more love. It was something in my heart.
Yeah.
It was like very deep, and I was actually seeing amazing things. I was seeing people's grandmothers and all kinds of other things, and I found out later on, just randomly from someone that was in one of the coherence healings. They sat at the table and I asked them, how was the healing for you? And they're like, my grandma came to visit me. And my friend that was with me was like, she literally told me that she saw your grandma. So it was like such a profound moment, because it's not just about, the scientific stuff behind Joe's meditations and his brain scans and his blood works, but it's what I experience is mystical. Like, it's not something you can explain. You can't talk to anyone who hasn't actually meditated and done this and explain what you felt and seen in that moment. So I thought maybe I'd just ask you if you've had any of those kind of specific moments or impactful visions or something that happened with Joe's teachings that you can share with us.
I had in one of his coherence healings, and it's very funny. Um, like 1 year and a half ago. I mean, I go to so many events, so I'm not sure about which one it was. But so I was, first of all, I never inscribed myself for coherence healings. And it's funny, they always choose me. So when I come there, they're like, "Oh, you've been selected for coherence healing." I'm like, "I didn't inscribe myself. No, I don't know. You're just there." I'm like, "Okay, thank you. I receive."
Okay.
So I had one and a half year ago, 2.5 year, and I was just laying down there, and um it was like something was pulling like my spine, like it was like my spine was like this, and something was pulling it like straight,
Wow.
right? And I felt it so clearly. And actually, last year, I went to a neurosurgeon, and they made like a checkup from my spine. So they put like some electrodes on your head, on my spine, on my legs. And when the result came back, you can always, when you go to a doctor's appointment, on his face, if it's good or bad.
Yeah.
Always. So I hand him over like the report, and he started looking, and he started looking again, and then he starts laughing, like, Ken, this is better than I expected. So, he said, there's like, there's communication between your brain and your legs and through your spine. So something is good there. So for me, this is like a confirmation that what I felt, was the right thing, and then I'm on the right path, to become to heal myself. Now, by the feeling of love, what you're talking about, when we have like these sheets. For me, I don't know. It's like you have like this normal sheets, then you have like silk sheets. You have like the most soft sheets, and it's like
Yes.
beautiful to touch. And it's like with love. Love is like it's like an energy. It's so soft, but it's so sweet and it's so nice. And this is like what you feel like when you stop like focusing on your body and you become like you focus on love. It's
Mm.
like such a soft energy that you feel, and it's like so sweet, and it's like you know you want to have it around you. You want to
So
have it.
powerful as well.
Yeah,
Like my whole body is in goosebumps. I can't explain it.
yeah.
It's not even just the heart. My whole body reacts to
Yeah.
the frequency of
Uh,
love.
uh, and everything is perfect. I had once that I was like I was not a healer, but I was like in healing. And I when you go to this event, you make many, many, many friends.
Yes, you do.
So I became friends with a lady from Poland. She lives in the United States, an artist. But I didn't know that she was like, she signed up for a healing.
Mm.
And she was there with her brother, and her brother also became my friend. Just, when you go into like to the hall, and I just randomly with my wheelchair, I just went to somewhere and I just put myself, and I because the person was laying on the floor. And then when we finished, she opened her eyes and she looked at me. I was like, wow. And she told her brother, like, I want Ken to be in our healing today.
Oh, wow.
Before, you see, my skin goes like chicken
Yes.
skin. And I don't know, I was just like drawn to there, because I was just like wandering through the room, and I went to like to a certain place where she was with her brother. I didn't even know they were there at the moment. I just until we finished, I looked up, I look at the people and they were there. And she was like, she told her brother, like in the morning, like, I want today my healing. I want Ken to be there.
No, there's so many powerful things that happen there. I mean,
Yes.
I have
So I
goosebumps now.
think I think in this work, we set an intention and we have to let go. And then it's not our job to make it work the way we want. It's just we set the intention and we just trust. And this is the most difficult thing for us, I believe, to do, because we always want to control the outcome and we want to control how it works.
Hmm.
But the more control we want, the less control we have. And the less control we need, the more we have.
That's so flippant true. You know, when I got to Joe, I always think of your purpose. You know, people don't know really what their purpose is in life, and we always stress about it and we make it a whole big thing. But there was just something that rang so true at the retreat for me was I want to help others remember who they are. It's as
Yeah.
simple as that. I don't want
Yes.
to, I don't want to, yes, of course, I love the transformational stories and the mystical stuff, but I just want people to remember who they are, the power that they hold for themselves, and how they can keep themselves back in life or they can grow and be anything that they want. And I just want to be a part of the remembering. That is like the ultimate teaching from Joe for me, to be honest.
It doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter who you've been. It doesn't matter who you are, because you can change any moment. It's just whenever you decide to change, you can change, right? But the decision is on you. And that's it, you can become anyone you want. But normally once we go into this in this work, you start to become like a more loving person, a more caring person. And I think like when you go to this type of events and you meet like people with likewise energy, it's
Definitely.
beautiful, because you
Definitely.
feel like, okay, wow.
It just pulls you in and you got to follow. There's nothing that's going to stop you from following, whether it's an illness or no illness. You can be 100% healthy and you can not be. It doesn't matter who you are, what you're going through. You can still go there and you can still create with love. Isn't that the
Yep.
most important?
Yep.
How did
Totally
you
agree.
handle like moments of doubt or frustration during your recovery?
Man, I had many. I had many. Um, Especially, for me. So Dr. Joe always said like this work is so great that nobody's excluded. Nobody is so special that he is excluded to change. And I used to go to his events, and I would see people like, healing themselves from all kind of things. like in such a short time. And my process would take like a longer time. And many times I would feel stupid or
Oh,
I would feel dumb because I'm like, why is other people healing and I'm not? And of course, sometimes it would be like, it will bring me down, like maybe I'm not good enough, or maybe, I'm not whatever. Okay.
all I want to say to you is you're bigger than just a healing. That's why.
Of course. So you go back, and then you go again to your discipline. And I have had many times that I come like to a point with meditation. I'm like, okay, I'm going here. I'm not going to go any further.
Mm.
And then the next meditation is like, wow, I just went a level up, and I feel like, something fell off of me, something went out of me. I became a little bit lighter. It like feels like this. And then, you go to the next step. And the only thing I can recommend people, like, don't discourage yourself if nothing happened like in 1 month or in 6 months. Just keep going after it. Just, um, don't let like depressive feelings get the better of you, And I'm not saying don't feel it, because I know this happens going to come, and maybe you're like, going after it. You keep going after it, and you will see the
Yeah.
result will come 1,000,000%. And sometimes also like things we don't understand, just keep, going back to the lectures, because as for me, for example, I have done like many events, and most events, Dr. Joe doesn't change his way of teaching, but it's our understanding that's changing. So we start interpreting it from a different manner, You're like, I haven't looked at it like this way. And it's like a real, like all new experience.
And we're continuously always seeing it from a just different perspective. Like you say, you always learn, you always pick up something that was always there, but you just
Yeah.
weren't ready to hear it. It wasn't ready. You weren't at that part of your journey. I see life like we're avatars. And every journey, every circumstance, trauma, whatever we go through levels us up. And we get new skins and we get new powers and we unlock all
Yeah.
these like if we were thinking like a kid's mindset, this is how I see it. And
Yeah.
I mean, that's what you've done. Your avatar, you're upgrading it, not just physically, but in such a beautiful spiritual way that maybe if this never happened to you, you wouldn't have even looked at meditating, looked at, feeling that love, looked at breath work. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
Yeah.
it's a bittersweet story.
So sometimes we don't see things because our brains are not wired to see it, right? Because we constantly programming our brains, what you say. So once you start like learning, you're rewiring your brain, and then you start to see new things, and then you go a little bit higher, and then you start to see new things, and you start to understand more and more and more. And there's a never end to it.
Mm.
It's always expanding. There's always more, there's always more love, there's always more knowledge, there's always more,
Growth.
of everything.
Yes,
Yes, growth,
agree.
change.
And what does your daily routine look like now? How do you maintain your positive mindset?
Okay, so I wake up, normally I wake up around 6 a.m. I do between 1 and 2 hours of meditation for myself. I do a half an hour of breath work, and then I do meditation. Um, then I go to the gym, make exercise. I come home, I stand up, I do a couple steps to keep my legs stretched and to make it, my body used again for me standing up. Then I'm doing some courses I'm learning now, and with my work. And then in the afternoon, normally I have like physical therapy, and that's my day. In the night, I read a little bit. I like to read about this kind of things. And normally, while I'm in the gym, I'm like listening, or maybe to Dr. Joe lectures, or to different masters or podcasts. I'm
Mm.
just Before I used to listen to music, and I was like, but now I'm like I said, I'm a little bit different. So once you start into it, you want to learn more and more. So you just start to listen, and you get more information because you want to go a little bit further.
Yes. I mean, I love doing all the research, especially on Joe's stuff and all of the people that he gets interviewed by because they're also such unique people. It's like
Yeah,
once you're in that energy field, once you
yeah,
open yourself to that, you cannot you just kind of sway back to it the whole time. It kind of pulls you in, and I mean, I'm
yeah.
always listening to meditations now when I sleep. Like everyone
Hmm.
in the house knows. Meditation when you sleep. Sometimes in the morning, I'll even just quickly put my earphones on and do a meditation, but everyone's now listening to it. And it really does help. Like, but by me doing this and implementing this, this is what's making the change in the people around me and in my life as well. Just by
Yeah,
me acting differently, every single day and choosing to just be a little bit better than I was yesterday.
yeah. And also for me, for example, when I always used to blame my parents for many things that happened to me in the
Mm,
past. And once you discover, okay, they gave you the life, right? So actually, they gave you a gift, and a big, very big gift. So
mm.
for me, for example, instead of like creating more chaos by like complaining, like blaming everything, no, okay. And now since a while back, I'm honoring them every day. Like if I go into my meditation, I will always honor my parents because they gave me life.
Would you say that this experience actually changed your perspective on life?
100%. I could tell you so many things, but
Share something. I would love to know. I mean, how has this experience changed your perspective? Just in one little example for me.
by learning that, like, okay, this physical body is just like, it's just a vehicle we use, but we're immortal beings. So our soul is like an all time, it's an everlasting. It never dies.
Energy
So
never
once, yeah, but we are energy.
dies. Exactly.
So once you learn that you never die, it's just you're having an experience here, just to do several things. Your perspective on life also becomes very different because a lot of times we live in fear, like, oh, I need to do this because I don't have time, or I need to go there, or whatever.
Mm.
And
Yes.
once you go deeper and you learn that, okay, my father passed away in 2019, beginning of 2019. And I had, for example, we did a pineal gland meditation, always with Joe. I
Mm.
have like an experience where I made peace with my father. And
Wow.
then this experience I had in this meditation, I could say it's more real than you and me talking right now. So if I could talk to him and give him a hug and everything, and make peace with him. So what say that this reality is like the reality there is, if I experience that reality more real than you and me right now.
Mm.
So there's like so many things we don't see with the eye, but again, we are not wired to see. So
Mm.
if we can only see like less than 1% of reality, what's the other 99% of reality there really is?
What you just said is very, very powerful because I mean, we forget that, you know, how many times I've had a gut feeling about something, and it took me
Yes.
a lot of things happening in my life, like a lot of things. I discovered I had a sister I never knew about, who was looking for her family for 37 years just by doing a DNA test. I learned about a friendship of like 20 years and why that went sour, and it like, you know, and those experiences, we don't actually trust our intuition. We don't trust that feeling. Sometimes we forget to feel. We are taught not to feel. We're taught to push away the feeling.
Yeah.
Instead of, I mean, we're human. Everyone goes through hardship, sadness, frustration, anger. We all have these emotions, but we're never taught to just feel it. Feel it. Just feeling. Let's not act on it. Let's just feel it, sit with it, know where it comes from, and then let it
Yeah.
go. We're
Yeah.
feeling beings, but we look for proof. We want to see the proof. We want to be told
Yeah.
the proof, instead of sitting with our feelings. And that's why I think meditation is so important, because we we're switching off all of these different things that are distracting us from feeling. It's so
Yeah.
important to feel, and that's where that love. That's why we send love out when we do coherent healings, because it's the most powerful frequency. It's the only frequency that can transform. Love transforms.
Yeah.
So, I
And
mean,
that,
wow, what you said is amazing.
and then where you said, if you can feel the feeling of something you want and just let go, it have to come to you because you already have the feeling, right? So
Mm.
if you have the emotion and the feeling of something, it have to come to you. I also listened to one person. He passed away already. Goddard Neville. I don't know if you heard of him. I believe he wrote a book. Feeling is the key, or feeling is the secret, something like this. And he explains about it. And wow, if you he was how he was teach, like he wanted to go visit his family, but he didn't have like it was like in the 1900s, and he didn't have a place on the boat, so he had a master who was like a master in this, and he said, okay, you just feel like you're already on the boat and in first class. And it was like, and his master just closed the door and let him, it's like, no, it's already done, that's it. So and he started teaching him, and so the time goes by, and then the ship had to go tomorrow, and he didn't have a ticket, and he was like, okay, what's going on? And then a day before, somebody drove like a ticket under his door, like he had a ticket to go to visit his family, but it was economic class. So he went to his master, like, look, I got the ticket economic class. So his master told him, like, no, you're going to go first class. And he closed the door on him again, and he had to go. And then when he went onto the ship, they called him, you've been upgraded to first class. And he went first class to visit his family.
I can actually tell you so many moments where I ha, people can look at me and say I'm lucky, but it's not just luck. It's
No.
like belief. When I say
Yeah.
there's going to be a room, say for instance, I went and visited Singapore, and when you set your mindset, there's going to be a room that we can upgrade, and it's going to be the best room ever. And I got the upgrade. We got the upgrade. But the thing is, I didn't say to myself it's going to be free either. I just wanted the upgrade. You know what I mean? You got to be so specific with these things, and you got to be so
Yeah.
careful what you're actually manifesting, because it can happen like this. And it is about that frequency. It's about alignment. It's about coherence. It's about everything. Everything.
Yeah.
I mean, we are only seeing this much as humans. Just a
We
little
don't even
part of
know
it.
the power we have.
No, we
We don't
don't.
even know the power we have. I had 2 years ago, I needed to go to Dubai, and I didn't have a ticket. And I was like, I want to fly first class to ticket. So I started meditating on that. And I had a financial guy calling me like, okay, I need to set up a couple bank accounts in Dubai. Can you help me? I'm like, yes, of course, but you need to buy me a first class ticket. He was like, no problem.
You see, and so many times it's happened to me, like with little things, stupid things. Like even when I
Yeah.
used to smoke, I'd be like, "Ugh, I need to go get smokes," and then some person would just come and give me smokes for free.
Yeah.
There's so many times that it's happened, and from a young age, and so many people. It happens to so many people, and they just still don't. They're not aware.
Again, by limiting ourselves, right?
Yeah.
So the small things, okay. But then if it's about big things, then it's like, oh, maybe it's too big. Why are you limiting? If you see it works with small things, it should work with big things too, because the law is the law, right?
100%. But like you even said, there was a moment for you where it's about awareness. It's about
Yeah.
showing up differently, pushing your boundaries, not letting anyone else's mindset or energy affect you. And
No.
and that's what rings true to you and everyone. That's why
Yeah.
you're so inspiring.
And if you become coherent, like if you can take away a little bit the chaos from the body and become coherent with your body and with your environment, everything starts to go like in a different flow, in a different form, and it's like, wow, it's like universe is conspiring in my favor, or what?
A very good saying that I always say to people, it's not to you, it's for you.
Yeah,
That's one of
exactly.
my favorite sayings. Can you actually share your most memorable breakthrough or moments that stand out from you in your healing journey?
It must be me being able to stand up again, right? But for me, it's not really about standing up anymore. It's just now for me, it's like being a happy person, being a different person, you know?
That was literally my
So
next question. I was going to ask you, what are your hopes and goals for the future? And you're already basically living in the future that you have been dreaming of, aren't you?
yeah, so for me now, my goals are just like daily, like, of course, everybody wants to be abundant. Everybody wants to be,
Yes.
healthy. Like I said, a sick person has only one wish, being healthy. And then they say a healthy person, have like 1,000 wishes. But, I think if you can genuinely just enjoy life and be in peace with yourself, overcome yourself, and then be in peace with yourself, I think that's the biggest goal in life. Everybody has an issue with himself until he overcomes himself.
Yes. 100%. I'm working on it every single day. I think I've been working on it for so many years now. And it's people can look at me and be like, wow, you're so inspiring, but this has been a hard journey. This has been
Mm.
unpacking dark parts of me and choosing the light. This has
Yeah,
been, me really looking in the mirror and being like, okay, these are the parts that I am now done with, and walking away. Walking
yeah,
away from yourself and your addictions to your emotions and
yeah,
all the little things that you put up with in your life just to behave the way you do, because that's what I was doing. I was putting up with certain people in my life so I could behave however I wanted to, and these are all big realizations. It has not been easy, but it has been so powerful, so inspiring, and I'm happier than I've been in years, not because I'm not crying or feeling angry or upset, but because I can feel again without lingering and having it there hovering over me 24/7. I can choose what emotion to feel and be in, and it's so powerful.
I think we live in a reality from duality, right? So it's like up, down, happy, sad, whatever, whatever you want to call it. So once you realize that, okay, we possess everything. So we have light and we have darkness. And we have like positive things and we have negative things. But once you get rid of the negative things, it's not about, okay, me being angry, getting rid of it. No, just in a loving way, okay, I recognize you, I see you, but it's not anything I want anymore from my life. So let it go.
It's very powerful. Not many people can do that. Not many people even
Hmm.
know that they're addicted to anger or sadness or
Because they don't realize.
Mhm.
It's been such an unconscious program that they don't realize that they are addicted to some behavior. I had one good friend of mine, and um, he always used to watch the news and get angry, like, oh, what's the news today? And like, oh, you see, this is happening today. And then I'm like, bro, just stop watching the news, you know?
looking for a reason to be angry.
But yeah, it unconsciously, being addicted to that news, so he can get angry, so he can get that shot of energy. But they don't realize. And then for me also, like now I have like 5 years meditating. Okay, I'm 43 years old. That means I've been living 38 years in a certain way.
Mm,
So how can I living for so many years in a certain way and then think, I'm just going to chase it in one day? No, it doesn't work like that,
mm.
because your body is used to it. So your body, once you stop behaving in a certain way or you stop feeling in a certain way, your body's going to like, hey, what the hell is going on?
No,
You've been feeling this way for so long, and now you want me to change? So your body is going to resist, and you need to overcome that.
it's like being a drug addict. You're going to have urges to relapse and go
Yep.
back into it. And it's just about being aware and choosing
Yep.
to, instead of, okay, why am I reacting before you even react, being like, okay,
Yep.
I'm not going to let this affect me. And I've used this and I'm still using it, and I'm not perfect at it, but the things that used to trigger me are not triggering me so much, because we do meditations, even in Joe's meditations, where you like feel certain emotions and you can let it go, you know?
Yep.
So, I mean, I don't know any other school or parents or circumstance that would teach me how to do something like that. You know, we no one teaches you how to deal with emotions. So
Oh,
just to see how you've channeled your love into inspiring your body to work in coherence with you and your heart, that is enough of a miracle for me. I'll tell you.
it doesn't matter the times we fall, right? It matters the times we stand up. So we fall from grace, and even also everybody, there's no saint on this earth that can say, okay, I didn't fall from grace, or I don't fall from grace like 5, 10, 20, 30 times a day. The thing is like being conscious. Okay, I've been drawn into this behavior. Hey, I'm going to take a step back. No, I'm not. I'm not that person anymore. So, and then you change, and that's like a win.
I know.
But as long and it doesn't matter if it's like 1 minute, 1 hour, 1 day, as long as you become conscious of it, and then it's like, okay, if it takes you, for example, a day, and then maybe the next time it takes you 12 hours, that's already a 50% gain, right?
And one day you just wake up because of all your efforts and all your consciousness and all you're just trying every single day. One day you wake up and it's not so hard. You're
Yep,
really,
exactly.
you're just that person again, you know, the person that you want to be. It just
Yep,
happens.
yep,
But
yep,
you still got to keep
100%.
at it, because, like you say, even in your own journey, you shared last time, you know, the programming sets in again, and you're like, wait, how do I get out of this again? And it's now we have tools to actually help us do all of these things, heal our bodies, heal our minds, heal our traumas, and heal each other and love each
Yeah,
other.
and there comes also the scientific teaching behind the meditation, because with the scientific teaching behind the meditation, you cannot say it doesn't work, or
Mm.
you cannot say it doesn't work for me,
'Cause it's,
because it's proven it works for everybody.
hmm
So it's just for you. So the how comes easier,
So,
because now you know.
and 200 to 300 steps a day, Ken. How does that feel?
Mhm.
Tell me.
Yeah, really good. You always want a little bit more, right?
Of course. We wouldn't be
So
who we are if we didn't want more.
and now it's a beautiful progress, because in the beginning, for example, if I would put a step, then I would be like, okay, I would make a step, and then it would be like, my leg would like fall out a little bit. Now the last week, this week I haven't trained because I took out my wisdom teeth, so I can't make
Yes.
any effort. So I haven't been able to do it. But last week, the last one, I was now walking, and I was just putting, okay, what, and for a normal person it's very easy, but for to you to coordinate your legs, like making a step and another step and another step, it's like, wow,
Takes energy
you
and
know, it takes energy, and it takes a lot of mind. And now just to seeing being able to stand up, taking steps, and like, wow, you see the progress, and it's like such a beautiful progress. Like I said, it makes you only more grateful, like, all the time.
well, I'm so proud of you. And like I always say to you, every time I see you, please just keep being you and inspiring everyone. From the moment that I
Thank you.
met you and I saw you and I locked eyes on you, I was like, that guy's an inspiration to me. I didn't know what your story was, but I am so glad that I'm a part of your journey, and I
Thank
honor
you so
you
much.
and I send you love and healing every single day.
Same here. Same here. Thank you so much. For me, it's also a pleasure and honor to meet you, and yeah, being
And
able to talk from time to time.
yes, actually, we talk quite often, at least every
Yeah,
second week or so.
yeah,
Please keep
yeah.
sharing those videos. I'm going to put it up in this video as well of
Thank you. Yes, of
yeah.
course.
And guys, please follow, share anyone that needs to hear this inspirational story, anyone that needs a healing or just some love. Share the story. Let it go far and wide so others can be inspired and not
Yep,
just stagnant and comfortable where they are. Let us inspire everyone.
I totally agree.
Thank you so much, Ken.
Thank you. It was a pleasure. Okay.